contest called IGOW2 in a park out in the sun. We'll be flying, having fun, and you'll do some tricks that you only dreamed you could do. Now we're ripping packs together, power loops, Matty flips forever. I'll never fear that dive again. IGOW, IGOW, I'll never fear that dive again. IGOW, IGOW, IGOW.
Do you wanna do an orbit? Upside down around the ball. It can be anywhere, at any height we'll find we're really tall. We used to be best buddies, and now we're not. I wish I could make you split. Does it have to be an orbit? Yes, it has to be an orbit. Okay, I'll try. Do you wanna do an orbit? Upside down around the peak. I think this trick is overdue. I started scrolling through the Reddit for the week. It gets a little lonely on these packs, just watching my whoopers down. I think I got an orbit. I think I got an orbit. Okay, let's fly. Okay, let's fly.
It's cheating.
Really?
I've been waiting for you. from IGOW2.
All right, here we are, IGOW2 Finals, Round 1, Challenge number 3, going to be drawn today on the stream. So, first we're going to show the challenges for the pilots who whooped out in week number 27, Agilis's week. We had 4 pilots, 5 total pilots that whooped out, and 4 of them, oh, let's turn on the chat. 4 of them had a challenge still to be pulled up. Dan was not able to complete his challenge, so you can check out what his would have been. Immelman, seriously? Yeah, come on. Immelman attacking my strings. Not cool. Not cool. Okay. So, we have Lucky, Nico, Busterhawk, and Ruse challenges to show. We will start just from the bottom going up. So Lucky finished in 13th place, and his challenge we can see here is called the TGS Twisted Split Back. So let's check out what his challenge would have been if it had been drawn before he whooped out.
Hello IGOW friends, Lucky here, and my challenge I'm calling the TGS Twisted Snapback. For that you're going to use the
Lucky says snapback a bunch instead of split back.
On the top of the top gate, on the side, kind of like what you see here. The trick starts with a yaw spin through the bottom gate, come around, do a yaw spin through the middle gate, come around, do a yaw spin through the top, and then do a spinning dive through the dive gate. Then the next part of the trick is the snapback part. You do a snapback over the top through the top gate, turn around, do a snapback over the top through the middle gate, turn around, do a snapback over the top through the bottom gate, and finish with a self-landing.
Alright, so that he said snap back a bunch again, but it was actually split back, so like a split S with a back flip. So that's the second part. So let's check out his completion of the challenge. So yaw spin through each of the gates, and no touching the buttons. And a spinning dive. And then 3 snapbacks down, or split backs, he got me saying it now. 1 split back, 2 split backs, 3 split backs, and the sub landing to finish it off. So, inside, Jacob's ladder with the dive gate on it, spin through the dive gate, and then the 3 split backs. The mouse Emily? No. Emily. Emily, you can't be attacking the mouse in the middle of the stream. Alright. So that was Lucky's challenge. It would have been the TGS Twisted Split Back. It would have been interesting to see if the other pilots could have completed that one, but Lucky has whooped out in 13th place, so his challenge will be, or his bingo ball will be pulled out before this draw coming up. Next up we have Nico Del Rey, that's Nick Koenig, and he came in 12th place. So let's check out what his challenge would have been. No Trick Nick. That's what he called it.
Hello, this is Nick. Yeah, Nico Del Rey, my race name. Anyways, yeah, just introducing my trick this week. I doubt I'll be picked, but if I am, here you go. First, I'm calling it the No Trick Nick. My kid thought of the name and I kind of laughed, so there you go. The second thing is basically there's 3 parts to the trick. It's easy, in my opinion. You guys will probably get it since it's the finals and whatnot, but it's the inverted rolling orbits. kind of like the trippy spin, the inverted orbits, but it's rolling. And so basically there's 3 parts of it. The first part is you'll find a pole, an object to some kind of tree or whatever, fly around, and you do an inverted orbit twice around it. Then you have to do inverted yaw spin and do that twice. And then you have to do another inverted rolling orbit twice the other direction. And that's pretty much it. And but there's videos on how to do it on YouTube. It's not the most difficult trick. I recommend helping you guys out here, but I recommend this is the guy I fly all the time, but I recommend, this is about 25-30 degree camera angle right here. It's a sail fly canopy I print. It just works for me. Anyways, you want some camera angle. If it's really flat, it's going to be really difficult. I don't know. That's probably the biggest thing you need to know. And if you're doing a trippy spin, as we do on IGOW, the inverted orbit, if you can lock into that, all you're doing really is throwing in some yaw, and you don't think about it too much. That's my biggest tip right there. Don't think about it too much. If you start rolling, you'll lock in pretty good. And I sort of made the trick a little bit easier too, because it looks really cool when you do a rolling inverted orbit, and it looks really cool and everything, but I knew it was going to be really windy when I tried it. I didn't have a lot of batteries, and it's cold, and once I crash in the snow, I'm done until it melts. So basically, I said, whatever you choose, the object you choose, you don't have to lock. If it's a light, say, that's what I chose, this big field light. If you lock into the light itself, that's great, but it was so windy when I tried it, and I knew it was going to blow me around. So it can be, as long as you're doing the roll, and you see the pole, or the light, it doesn't matter. If you're super close, you're not going to see everything. It looks good when you can just lock into that light, but it doesn't happen. It's not an easy thing to do. So that's, I don't know, some tips, some rules. Of course, no crashing, no bumping. I'll write it all down in the video, and I'd assume it has to be less than a minute and a half. I did it in less than a minute and a half, but I guess I didn't specify that, but who knows. Anyways, good luck with it if you do it. It's not the hardest thing. I'm almost whipping out here anyhow, so I'm giving you all the tips and tricks that you need. All right, good luck with it.
All right. So if that wasn't totally clear before Nico goes over it, you had to do two rolling inverted orbits in one direction around your object. Then you had to go up and do a 720 inverted yaw spin. So flip upside down, spin 720 instead of just 360, and flip back over. And then go back to the pole and then do the rolling orbit again, but in the opposite direction. Rolling inverted orbit again, but in the opposite direction. So you can see Nico here giving out his hand sign, which was an O, fourth letter in your name. So let's check out the completion of the trick. So it starts off, looks like counterclockwise, doing the rolling inverted orbit. Definitely gets 2 in there. Gets up nice and high. 1 spin, 2 spins, or the inverted 720 yaw spin, and then the opposite direction, and going clockwise. Rolling inverted orbit. Good job keeping the pole in the FPV view at all times. Just definitely make sure he gets more than 2 in there. Great job. And then a super big inverted yaw spin for the celebration end. Celebration Maverick loop there. himself. And tossing up the O again, for good measure. I think that would have been a tough one for people. The rolling inverted orbit's not super hard, but if you've never tried it before, it could be really tricky. Especially if you're like over snow, you can't crash. So that would have been a cool one from Nico Del Rey, but he has now whooped out in 12th place, so we will be removing his ball, which is number 4. Alright, next up we've got Buster Hawk. Buster Hawk's Tristan, and he whooped out also last week on the Agilus FPV, Agilus UTT. So, oh, we got a bunch of people jump in here. Sam Carmel, what's up, Sam? Haven't seen you for a minute. And Callisto, I knew Nico was going to do the rolling inverted from his freestyle vid. Yeah, that would have been an interesting one to see who could have pulled that off. Alright, so next up we've got Buster Hawk. And Buster Hawk's challenge.
You see, Brian?
Let's see here.
Sit down, Sheila.
I've got a table.
I know, I saw.
Buster Hawk's loop challenge. So set up an IGOW approved gate anywhere on the ground. 30 seconds from when you take off to do 11 power loops through any of the 4 sides of the cube. You don't have to use a different face each time. But if you like started to get off kilter or something, you could go through any face, and you just have to go off the top each time. So, and he says continuous loop motion not required, but it has to be an FPV, no line of sight. So you got to get 11 power loops in 30 seconds or less.
But I was too far away. You really couldn't tell. Ready?
So he took off, he's got his timer, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Barely a second to spare there. And it looks like he just tried a bunch. And Tristan getting his signature there. Alright. So, Buster Hawk's challenge did not get chosen. So, and now he has whooped out in 11th place. So we will not be choosing that one. But he got it done. Alright. Good job from Tristan there. Great season overall. Most of these pilots that are whooping out now didn't get their first letter until week number 22. And our last of the pilots that have whooped out was Rue. That's Susan Smith. And we can check out her challenge now. It's Rue's double cube challenge in IGOW2 Finalist UTT. So let's see what Rue's challenge would have been if we chose it.
Welcome to Rue's Double Cube Challenge.
It's a UTT with a special twist.
For this challenge, you're going to need 2 IGOW approved cube gates. Those have openings no more than 27 inches apart. You'll also need 1 IGOW approved gate to serve as the start-finish gate. Here's how you're going to set them up. The cubes are going to be in line with the outer edges 9 feet apart. The start-finish gate is going to be between them and set 2 feet apart from the left edge of the cube gate. Here are some other rules. You cannot go through any gate in the wrong direction or out of order. So for example, you can't go backwards through a gate by accident, and you also cannot take any extra gates in order to make a shortcut. You can only go through the gate in the exact order as prescribed.
Ready for the twist? You have to do this challenge in acro mode. That's right,
Ooh.
acro mode.
On your OSD, we're asking if you would please turn on your timer if possible, as well as please turn on air or acro so that we know you're actually flying in acro mode. And of course, you cannot speed up or manipulate your footage in any way, or Dan will come after you. Now let's get into the track. Alright, for Rue's double gate fun, you're going to go through the start finish, then the edge of the cube, straight through to the other cube, then up, over, down through the first cube, and then it's around the outsides until you're back to that first cube. We'll go up, down into the second cube, and around in the opposite direction. Keep going around, 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 through this cube one more time, and then back through the start finish gate to end one lap. Now we're going to take a look at a few examples and tell you why they pass or do not pass these rules. This first example does not pass because I accidentally went through a gate in the wrong direction. Similarly, I also cannot go through the start-finish gate in the wrong direction. However, I can bump a gate as long as I don't pass through the plane of the gate. Both of these examples are okay because I've only hit the gate and not gone through it in the wrong direction. The time I've set for my run is 41 seconds. That means you must complete 3 total laps in less than 41 seconds in acro mode.
So part of what makes Ruse tricky is that in acro mode, right, you can drift a lot further, and she's set it up so you have to be very precise. You have to dive down in and out of the cubes without going out the wrong face at any time. So would have been tricky for some pilots, I think, that don't typically race in acro. It would have been interesting to see if they'd still be able to pull it off for people that are used to racing in angle. But Rue did it, no problem.
I wanted to pay a
38
little tribute
seconds.
to the fact that when I started
38.6.
IGOW, I really couldn't fly a whoop in acro mode, at least not very well. And I feel like as the challenge progressed, I got better and better at flying to acro mode, to the point where one of our last UTTs, I actually did a run in both angle and acro mode. So maybe this will help the non-racers, I don't know. The fact that I set the limit at 41 and then I got a 38 makes me think I probably made the challenge a little bit too easy. So you're welcome, and good luck, guys. Can't wait to see your runs.
Alright, so I think that one would have been tricky. I don't think everyone would have been able to do the time in acro like Rue was able to there. But let's move on. So Rue came in 10th place, and then Dan Carpy, as we explained before, did not complete his own challenge. If you want to take a look at what his challenge would be, go to the week number 27 draw, and we show what his challenge was there. Alright, so now we have the draw for week number 29, and we will see who's left. So we've already chosen Rock FPV, and we've already chosen Agilus 1 and 5. We have them here on the bingo balls, and now we have to pull out 6, 8, 4, and 7 for Rue, Buster Hawk, Nico, and Lucky. Alright, so let's see. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, more or less. Okay. 7. That's Lucky. Put him up here. 4 is Nico. Oop. 12 is Daylight, he's going back in. 8 is Buster Hawk, pulling that one out. 9, Akira. 3, Sam. 10, it's Cold Spit. 2 is Callisto. 6 was Rue, and 11 11 is Balzac. Okay, so we've got 6 more here. Here's the 6 that have either whooped out or been drawn. So let's put back in 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is that right? 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we chose 5. We chose 1. All right. All right, bingo balls back in the hopper. Whose challenge will be next? We have one. It is number 11. 11 is Balzac, right? Small here. Yes, Balzac. Number 11. So we will be doing a Balzac's challenge for week number 29. All right, let's take a look at what it is. We got ruse. Okay. Can I blow this up at all? I guess not. Okay. Requirement number 1, indoors. The ceiling height is 10 feet max. Let's see if he goes over it in the video, and then I'll have to explain more.
There's a device that I've been using called a Whoop.
Indoor hanging cube combo. Okay, so the challenge must be completed indoors with a maximum ceiling height of 10 feet. You must set up an IGOW approved hanging cube gate. The cube gate doesn't have to be hanging from the ceiling. It can be mounted on a wall or held up in any way. So you have to be indoors with 10-foot max ceiling, and you have to put your cube hanging or up in the air somewhere. The height doesn't matter. Requirement number 2 is that you perform these moves through the gate in order with no bumps or ground taps, I believe, is the setup. So let's get them all on the screen there. Oh. Okay, so you perform a power loop through the bottom gate and the top gate. So like up through the whole cube, and then you fly through the front of the cube, and then the back of the cube, and then do a Matty flip forward and down. So let's bring out a cube. Got a cube hanging, so you're gonna do power loop up through the bottom and out, and then you're gonna go through the middle and then Matty underneath it. And then you fly through the front gate. We're just gonna have to watch him do it. No bumps, jump after clashes. At least one of the power loops and at least one of the Matty loop flips must have constant loop motion. You must fly away cleanly after completing the combo. Okay. So if I start, pretty sure you start, you're gonna go up, through, yep, power loop at the back, and then through the front, Matty flip down and underneath, and then okay, so then you Matty flip down through the cube, through the top, through the front, and power loop through the second half. Okay, I got it. And Balzac's letter was a Z. So in sign language, it's like you just draw out a Z. Alright, so let's go over that one more time. Boom. Okay. So you approach the cube from underneath, you're gonna power loop up and underneath it and out from through the bottom, the top, and then out the back. And then you're gonna go fly forward through the cube and do a Matty flip out the back and underneath. And then you come up here and then you perform a Matty flip through the top. This time you're gonna Matty flip down through the top of the cube and through the bottom and out the back. And then you fly through the front and the middle again, and this time you do a power loop up, down, through the top and out the bottom, and then fly away. So it's like whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's look at the picture. Why can I not zoom? Oh, it is fuzzy. But you can kind of get the idea here. You're going to go from underneath, power loop up and through, and then through the cube, and then Matty flip down through the bottom. And then from this step, you go to here, Matty flip down through the top and the bottom, come out the front, fly through the cube, power loop up, through, and out. And that's just a drawing of it all together. So we'll watch it one more time here. So power loop up through the top, the bottom and the top, fly through the front, Matty flip through the back and out under the cube, and then another Matty flip this time where you go down through the top and out the back, and then fly through the cube, and this time a power loop where you go into the top of the cube and out the bottom. And at least one of the Matty flips and one of the power loops has to have constant loop motion. So I would say the second on both those have the constant loop motion. Alright, let's see if we've got any questions in the chat. My chat has disappeared. Oh, there it is. Nope, doesn't look like it unless the chat's not updated. Alright, so we got Ball Sacks Challenge up for week number 29. That will be due on the 19th, February 19th at midnight. And we will have the next draw on the 18th for week number 30. So Ballsack has to get 2 people to fail just like Rock did to avoid a letter for his week. Alright everyone, thanks for joining for the draw for IGOW2. We still got 5 more challenges here to be drawn for future ones. Couldn't do it, but crazy hallway not required. Alright guys, have a good evening, and I will I'll post this video, or I'll post Balzac's video on my live stream, or on my channel, so you all can watch that just by itself. Alright, have a good night.